Ready to stop making and losing the same $100 on a calf? Balance Forward is a cattle feeding management company that wants to create opportunities for mid-market cattlemen tied to the land in the central part of the United States who share the same vision and values. The success of Balance Forward stems from their ability to take what they have learned firsthand and apply it transparently to your business. Balance Forward takes a unique approach on managing the overall inventory for your client on cattle, corn, and feed.
Their consultative services, known as the Cattle Business Systems, is designed to help cattlemen with all aspects of their business, from corn procurement, buying feeder cattle, to internal position management. Cattle Business Systems will work with you to develop a customized plan to help your business grow and will continue to be a resource for you month after month. If you're ready for your cattle business to reach its highest potential, give Balance Forward a call at 712-785-3766 or visit www.balanceforward.com. That is BALANCE, the number 4, WARD.com.
There's still a lot of value to the following that you have. I mean, like I said, you got to attend the COVID Farm Progress Show even when nobody else got to attend the COVID Farm Progress Show.
Yeah, that was interesting because none of these booths were here. It was pretty much just combines and grain carts running out in the field. And I bet there weren't 100 people here on the whole grounds.
That had to have been spooky.
There is a podcast in Iowa, Farm4Profit was named by they. They stirred up a banker near, then quick came an auctioneer. Making profit was their first goal, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go. These formats shook us to our core. With Farm4Fun, you will not snore. The banker set all mics to on, and the mullet of podcast was born. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go. Before we knew, conversations grew. Growing corn even said F you. So won't you join Tenor, Dave, Corey, and crew? Please like, share, review. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go.
Well, that was not a bush.
that was the true whoosh.
I liked that.
That was pressure behind that.
Yeah,
that was
a little
intense.
caffeine in that.
Well, hey, listeners, welcome to the Farm4Profit podcast. This is Tanner Winterhoff.
This is Corey Hillebo.
And this is David Whitaker.
Apparently, I don't know how to open a beer. It's not a beer. To be fair, there's a beer coming. And that's what happens on Farm4Fun shows. This is like, as Dave always refers to it as, the happy hour spinoff of our Farm4Profit shows, part of the Mullet of Ag podcast. We're here to have fun with a really cool guest, another one of our Farm Progress show interviews. But listeners, we're not going to forget about you. We appreciate everything that you do for us.
Yep, and as always, we have a listener review, and that listener review is brought to you by Ag Leader. Check out their new Right Spot technology. That thing can see the weeds and spray it. It can go around a corner and compensate from the inside of the corner to the outside of the corner, so you're always spraying the right amount.
Well, you can put it on any sprayer. That's what I like. It doesn't have to just be green or blue or yellow and gray. What is yours? It's yellow and gray?
I mean, it's like a faded, gray.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's dirty. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And it can make it independent nozzle shutoffs. We're talking about independent row shutoffs on planters, but Right Spot allows you to add that technology to any planter.
Yeah.
With all any sprayer. Gee, many Christmas.
I suppose you could probably put it on a planter for pre-emerge if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's the versatility of it.
But yes, thank you, Ag Leader, for being a proud partner of the Farm4Profit podcast. Don't forget, it's their 30th anniversary. So go out there and wish them a happy 30th anniversary. Text message came in, 402 area code. That's got to be Nebraska.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yep, that's Nebraska.
What'd they say, Corey?
Finally got around to trying Bush Light and Mountain Dew. Let me say, it was awesome. Keep it up. Great podcast. Cheers from Nebraska, confirming that.
Nice.
You can also text in or call in and leave us a voicemail at 515-207-9640. So we are going to get right into trying one of these combinations. They said Mountain Dew and Bush Light's good, so why not try another pop? We have root beer.
Ooh, I like root beer floats.
I like root beer floats. Root beer and Jägermeister is very good. If you've ever tried that, it's not the snowmobiling thing, Dave.
Yeah. 50-50.
Oh boy. I'm bad at the foam. Let's try it here.
Wait for a second. It'll go down.
Root beer.
It's very overpowered by the root beer at first, but it makes the root beer flat. It doesn't have the the taste isn't bad, but it's flat. What do you guys think?
It's not. I think I totally took you out of the frame of the camera here, but it's definitely root beery.
It's a root beer. I don't get any of the Busch Light besides it just makes the root beer flat. So right. I like the Mountain Dew better.
All right, I'm game. I'm on that side of it too. So before we get into our conversation from Farm Progress Show with Brian Scott, which Corey nailed the intro on.
Did I?
I don't know. I wasn't there. It's so quiet. Trying to see if you guys got that done or not. No, it was good. But we want to remind you to our partner, Legacy Farmer. They are important to protect the financial future of your farming operation and set up your future generations for success. When you think of Legacy Farmer, what do you think, Corey?
I think of it as a partner, as a person on your team. What do you guys always say? The advisory team. It's a consultant for your farm.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. They have a proven strategy that partners you up with other operations just like yours. So you get a community built around you. They have a one-on-one support option. Obviously, Jason, his strong team around them, can provide you individualized expertise and fit your specific needs. They also promise you that you will never, ever have a clearer vision about the state of your farm or your business or the direction after you have a conversation with them. Dave, I bet you Whitaker Marketing Group could even use Legacy Farmer.
I would think so. One thing I remember from working with him is that he asked the right thought-provoking questions to make you challenge your process to make your business better, no matter what the business.
He reminds me of my favorite person in the world.
Me?
My second favorite person. No, my favorite person in the road, Vance Crowe. He does the same thing. Vance is very thought-provoking in the way he goes and navigates a conversation. But Jason and his team are ready to work with you because they're already working with over 300 other family farms, and yours could be next. Visit legacyfarmer.org to begin your journey to enriching and protecting your family's legacy for years to come. Enough of us. Let's jump into our conversation with Brian Scott, also the man behind The Farmer's Life.
Should we get into it?
We the best.
All I do is win.
On today's Farm for Fun show, we lure a Purdue grad over to Iowa State country to see some real corn. This man has an extremely educational and entertaining deck of social media channels. He has a blog, 102,000 followers on Facebook, 16,500 followers on Twitter, and almost 10,000 on YouTube, showing people how they raise corn, soybeans, wheat, popcorn, 2 kids, and a dog. From Indiana, Mr. Brian Scott of The Farmer's Life.
Hey,
what is up, man?
Welcome.
Hey, guys.
All we do is win. I don't know if you caught that, Brian. Strategic little Iowa corn jab.
Okay. All right.
Right in and off the start. No, welcome to Iowa. How's Farm Progress Show?
Pretty good. 80 degrees. I'll take that. Over
Yes.
90 and gross.
And a breeze.
Yeah.
So we are at the John Deere beer tent. It's a first of its kind ever at the Farm Progress Show, and it's amazing it's at John Deere. So you're going to hear music in the background, people in the background, but that's just the atmosphere. Guys, this booth is packed. It's 2 o'clock on the first day.
We've had a great day. We've had a packed group, it seems like, everywhere we've gone. Brian, how was the precision farming debut?
Good. I've been over at Precision Planting today and done a few media interviews and stuff, but I've caught up with quite a few people I haven't seen for a few years, so that was pretty cool.
So, Dave, I don't know if you remember this, but the last time we met and saw Brian, actually the first time we met and saw Brian,
Dublin Bay,
was Farm Progress Show 2020 COVID year.
Virtual show.
The virtual show that you were not virtual for.
Right.
Yes.
And I was supposed to be there, but I literally got COVID the night before.
You would.
So it's probably a good thing they didn't have the show.
Probably. I don't know.
Yes.
I survived.
I don't know. I think everybody's had COVID now, right?
That was like I said, that was my first time. I've had it twice, I think.
Yes.
That I know of.
No, this is good. We're happy to have you on.
I don't think we've ever had anybody on with over 100,000 Facebook followers.
That's a lot.
Maybe Field Rose.
That's because I haven't figured out YouTube yet.
That's good. So Corey gave an introduction. You tell us about your farm. Where are you from? What kind of farm do you run?
Okay, we are in northwest Indiana. For people not from our part of the world, I just tell them halfway between Indy and Chicago, close to I-65. Farm 2,500 acres, my dad and I. The easy way to say it is corn, soybeans, popcorn, and wheat. But if you want to break it down, it's corn, waxy corn, popcorn, regular soybeans, beans for seed production, popcorn, and wheat.
Nice.
That was a long list.
Yeah, it's a lot of cleaning out equipment is what that adds up to.
There's a few guys that grow popcorn around us. Much smaller ear. Is it a smaller yield too?
Yeah, so it varies quite a bit by hybrid, and your pay varies. They have multipliers that they kind of go off December corn price for each hybrid.
Yeah.
So what we grow anywhere from, popcorn's all in pounds or hundredweight, but it comes out to like more like 70 to 100 bushel instead of 200 plus.
Okay. So you said hybrid, so it's hybridized, but is there traits in popcorn?
No, there's not.
It's all
so
conventional?
it's all non-GMO, and our waxy corn's all non-GMO. So really, like 2/3 or better of our corn is non-GMO. So we're pretty used to doing that.
I got to back you guys up just a little bit. See, in case somebody out there doesn't follow Brian Scott of the 102,000 Facebook followers, are you married, kids? How'd you get into farming? Just give me a little snippet.
Sure. So married to my wife Nicole, who we've been together since I was a sophomore in high school. So it's been a minute. And we got 2 kids, Matthew and Andrew, 12 and 6 right now. So that's fun. And
And your dad farms?
Yep, my dad farmed.
So you grew up with it, okay.
Yep, so I grew up on the farm, was always going to farm, went to Purdue, had our last Christmas break and said I wasn't going to farm. And the only job I ever had was working on the farm in the summer. And I ended up in retail management for about 6 years. And not ag retail, like a farm and home store.
Is it always been row crop, or have you been cattle and livestock and anything else?
It's like a lot of farms, like 50s, 60s, 70s, we had like everything.
A little bit of everything.
We had hogs till about 2005, I want to say. And I've always been more interested in the plants than the pigs, but I was off the farm when we stopped doing the pigs. It was basically either start building quads or be done with our 40-year-old buildings and just get out of it. So
perfect. Well, now that we got the background,
that's the second person we've talked to today that's gotten out of hogs. So I'm seeing a trend here.
Corey, you're still in hogs,
I'm
right?
feeling left out.
Left out of still being in.
Corn and beans take care of themselves on Sundays. That's my opinion.
Yes, they do. They do. I'm not sure how Corey is
and
here
on
right
Christmas
now.
and Easter and all that, yeah.
I would say his hogs are probably starving, but that would probably get a lot of our audience pretty pissed off about that.
Nah, I got my brother for that.
So you got a bachelor's degree in soil and crop management.
Yes.
From Purdue. Corey, what was your degree in from Iowa State?
Ag Slack.
Not soil and crop management?
It was agriculture studies.
Okay.
With a minor in agronomy.
Nice.
And the reason I did that was because I thought I wanted to go into livestock. Thought there was no chance of going into livestock because of where I live, and now I'm in livestock.
Yeah.
And I went and I have an agronomy degree. But
So when you took off for college, was this something that your dad or your family said you need to go to school, or was that by choice?
No, need to go to school, I guess. I enjoy school. I actually thought after I graduated, I thought about getting my master's just because I liked school, but I didn't really think I was going to use it, so I didn't get one of those student loans.
You didn't get one of those student loans that's credited back?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I was thinking about going to master's as well because I enjoyed being at school. I didn't necessarily enjoy the school part.
Yeah,
I do like
get it.
learning.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The friends and always having something to do. And,
Yep.
So.
See, I said I've always thought Iowa State would be a great fit for our conference. You got a built-in in-state rival, but we're going to get USC and whoever else from California.
Sure. Yeah. So when you started out on Facebook, you didn't start out as Brian Scott. You went with the brand, The Farmer's Life.
Yes.
Correct? So tell us the story behind The Farmer's Life. Why'd we do that?
Well, I think there weren't a lot of people doing it 10 years ago or so. I think I started in like 2011. I thought I needed some kind of name like that. I knew some of the other people who did it had some names, so I thought, and I think it's a play on The Farmer's Wife is where it came from. You know, now you got big YouTubers like Brian's farming videos, and like, why didn't I just do that?
But there's still a lot of value to the following that you have. I mean, like I said, you got to attend the COVID Farm Progress Show, even when nobody else got to attend the COVID Farm Progress Show.
Yeah, that was interesting because none of these booths were here. It was pretty much just combines and grain carts running out in the field, and I bet there weren't 100 people here on the whole grounds.
That had to have been spooky.
I bet that's why it's so well attended this year. We have not had a Farm Progress Show here in Boone, Iowa since 2018.
Wow.
You know, so that's a real one.
Yeah, I actually text the person I'm working with at Precision last night. I was like, when do you think I should leave the hotel? Because I've been once in Illinois, and it took me like 2 hours from the interstate to the show. And the last time I came, I was the only one here, so it was pretty easy to get in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the opposite of the way we sit today because we got rain this last weekend. They canceled the field demos.
Yeah, I didn't know that till this morning.
So now we don't have any field demos, and everybody's crammed in on the grounds.
Yeah.
So hopefully they open those back up tomorrow.
They said canceled for the whole time, but so I thought it was because of the rain. I think it is for the tillage. But I heard that the corn was not ready to be harvested.
Oh, we did get a late planting.
Yes. So
that's too tough. So that was one opportunity that the Farmer's Life has gotten you. What are some other cool experiences you've had because of the hard work you put in on Facebook?
I've got to do a lot of things. There's days when I think about just deleting all my accounts and being done with it. But then I think, gosh, I've met so many people I wouldn't know otherwise. I'm here today. I got to come to the virtual show. I've been to Germany with Deere a few years ago. There was a group of about a dozen farmers from around the country. There was 2 or 3 years. We were going to D.C. trying to get enlist deregulated, talking to senators and congressmen and the EPA and all that stuff. So that was a pretty high learning curve for me. That was with enlist.
Oh,
Enlist. Dow, now Corteva. Yeah. So
I was gonna say
I've got to do stuff with all kinds of people in different companies, so it's pretty.
So do you get a lot of questions from people outside of ag, like senators, like attorneys, whatnot?
Yeah. So that's been the goal from the beginning, is to talk to non-farm people. Of course, by default, you're going to attract a lot of farmers and everything.
Yep, sure.
And I have questions for other farmers if they've had a problem and solved it that I'm currently having, or own a piece of equipment I want to know more about before I get more serious about it. But the big one is I just did some videos the other day. I was surprised by this. An awful lot of people think there's one kind of corn and you turn it to whatever you need after harvest, whether it needs to be ethanol or fed to cows or it's sweet corn or popcorn. They think there's one corn that becomes all of those. So they're pretty shocked when I tell them. Like, I like to tell people popcorn and sweet corn are like 1% of the corn in the country.
Yeah.
They can't hardly believe that.
I mean, wouldn't that be cool though to have one corn?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
You just hit the button on the microwave and it becomes sweet corn?
That became evident to me last year during the Field of Dreams game, the baseball game, when the professional baseball players were out in the outfield picking ears of dent corn, and they were trying to eat it off the cob. I'm like, you dummies.
My thought, I watched that game too, and my thought was, oh my God, they didn't give these guys safety glasses. Somebody's going to lacerate a corn out on their way out to the field.
Yeah, and how itchy you are when you come out. Oh my gosh.
There was some really cool footage, though. I don't know if
was very cool.
I understand it's TV. That probably did more for bridging the gap to consumers than a lot of the things that we've been able to do ourselves.
Yep. Now Bayer's taken complete advantage of it, and now it's the decal field or whatever, all that kind of stuff. But no, it's pretty cool. And I don't watch baseball. I love baseball, but I don't watch it that much. I watched that game.
Yeah.
I watched it this year.
Well, Brian, I don't know if you listen to very many of our shows, but Corey's gotten us on a kick. So we are, like Corey said, sitting at the John Deere Busch Light beer tent at the Farm Progress Show. And Busch Light is a proud partner of the Farm4Profit podcast. So we're sitting there going, Busch Light's great. It's like the Midwest champagne on its own. But we've been in the middle of a series of mixing other weird things with our beer. So as you're observing here, Corey's splashed a little bit of apple juice into our beer for the day because we've heard that Busch Light apple might be on its way out.
Oh, okay.
And maybe this is a Busch Light, maybe this is the solution. Maybe behind the scenes, Busch Light is just putting apple juice into the beer. Do you think that's the case, Corey?
Maybe.
Do you think it's going to be any good?
I mean, we could talk to Katie, see if she could do that. Let's try it.
It's pretty good, actually.
It is pretty good.
Oh,
my.
So this was not 50-50. This was like, would probably
throw a shot into a...
Yeah, you threw 10%.
Yeah. Quarter, 10%.
Throw a shot into
and that is
beer.
good. It's Busch Light, and it might even be better than Busch Light apple.
I'm glad that we didn't ruin a beer. We might have made it better, and that's hard to do.
There you go.
There you go. Apple juice.
Yeah.
Never would have thought it, right, Brian?
I'll actually, if we're out to eat or something, and there's a cider on the menu, I will get that instead of a beer.
Yeah.
That's what my wife drinks nonstop.
I've got a sister who's gluten-free. Same thing. Very good option there. It's either that or those seltzers. And some of those seltzers are really hit or miss.
Squirrel on cider. Taylor Janicek, future guest of the podcast. Not yet, but she doesn't know it yet, but she will be. She on Facebook was up at Blake's Hard Cider last week. I was like, hey, we interviewed Blake.
Yeah, another friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
So I want to get back to this bridging the gap to consumers, because I don't know if that was your original mission, but we've talked to a lot of advocates, and I'm throwing up air quotes for advocates, because I think it's one of those terms in the industry that is a love-hate. Nobody's coined anything better, unless you've got a better term for it.
No, my thought on that word has always been, I used to use it when it was really popular, but it's people in this circle know what you're saying. Everybody else thinks you just can't say advocate. That's kind of how I think about it.
That's funny.
He's got a point.
That is funny.
Coming from the person who's probably most connected to consumers sitting at this table.
Yeah. Well, these guys just don't know how to spell.
Yeah.
Right.
But I also know the person who is supposed to have come up with that. So
who is that?
That is, as far as I know, somebody might get mad. Mike Haley from Ohio is the one that came up with that, like in 2012 or something like that.
Mike, if you're listening, you need to defend that. Write in Farm4Profit LLC at gmail.com. Let us know if you're going to take credit for it.
Instead of education, could it be education?
Education.
Education.
You can't just throw ag in the front of verbs.
I think you can.
You can try.
But the cool part about that is you figured out a way, whether you stumbled into it or it was on purpose, to start to educate the consumer, which a lot of the conversations that we've had with guests on this podcast is what their goal is, and then they find themselves in the echo chamber.
Yeah, and it's hard to stay out of it, I think, because as we know, ag is such a small group, so we kind of tend to bond together anyway. But one thing I've learned from social media is there's, even just in ag, there's a heck of a lot I don't know and haven't experienced. That other people, even if it's the same crop from a different region. When I started, I think a whole lot of people started this way, like, okay, I'm going to educate the non-farm public on how farming works, and then you realize just butting heads with people who have opposing opinions doesn't get you very far.
Yeah.
So
well, and Corey and I just interviewed a guy
from that.
We just interviewed a guy from Maryland that was here at the John Deere tent, and crazy the different crops that he has, and I mean stuff that you don't even think about. It puts perspective that, hey, not everybody does the same way I do it.
Right. So. Yeah, I actually get a lot of private messages on my Facebook from people from like Pakistan, Iran, India, that part of the world that were wanting agronomic advice. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable telling my neighbor what to do, so I don't want to be doling out advice to some part of the world I've never been to.
They want to do cover crop over there in Pakistan?
Or they want to know, like, how much nitrogen should I put on this corn? I was like, I have no idea what's going on over there. I don't want to give you the wrong information.
I think we should fly over there, check it out.
I guess I've had a couple Ukraine, Africa.
There's a group from Ukraine here today.
Yeah. And then we met some Germany farmers.
That's what I was going to ask. Wasn't that a German group?
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They might be coming by.
Probably the same group. They've been to my farm before, so I've talked to those guys, yeah.
They might be coming here by the John Deere booth to hop on real quick if we're free.
Yeah. So. That would be great. Like I said, I always like learning. We started off with this podcast kind of sticking to corn and soybean country, and then have spun off. I mean, I caught there when you were talking about popcorn, I didn't realize it was sold by the pound and not by the bushel.
Yeah, I just had this conversation online with somebody the other day. Everything is popcorn, is pounds in popcorn, and until the FSA needs to do something, and they don't want to know bushels for some reason.
And then they want to know.
So they had it, I don't know, one of the coronavirus programs or whatever. It ended up being like a $30 difference when I did the math, but they were doing popcorn production in bushels, and they were using the test weight for corn. And I was like, well, actually, popcorn's much higher. You're actually handing out too much money.
Yeah. Huh. So, what is a bushel of popcorn test weight?
I think it's like 64. Okay. I think maybe some people use 66. Like last year we had some like 68, 69 pounds. So it's whenever I post pictures on Facebook or videos or whatever on social media at harvest, people will say the truck's not full. I'm like, if the truck was full, we'd be like 25,000 pounds overweight. So
yeah, that would make high-sided hoppers even more dangerous.
I've seen some come in at like 102,000 across the scales at the popcorn plant.
Holy cow! I thought I was doing pretty good with my 62-pound field corn test weight last year.
Yeah. This is an awesome experience to be here at the Farm Progress Show, because everybody is a family when you get together. Mm-hmm. And we're saying this because nobody else is going to be able to see this.
Right.
But the gentleman who just walked in front of us, Mr. Rob Sharkey, is one of those that needs more family than anybody else right now. And it's an honor that he came to Farm Progress Show just to be a part of that. And is that something that you've noticed through the farmer's life? Are there connections that you're making that provide you more than just agronomic value?
Oh, sure. I've got a group of guys I Facebook message every day, and they're all from Illinois, and I'm from Indiana, and I don't like coffee, so I don't go to the coffee shop. But so I message these people on social media, and part of that, for a business standpoint, we can talk about things like cash rent and stuff because they're not my neighbor. They're not your competing neighbor, against me. And
what's working in ag? Coffee shop talk.
Yeah, and I had heard Rob and Emily were coming, and like 5 minutes later, I happened to run into them. And
really? He just walked in here. I'm very surprised.
Told him I don't know what to say to him, but just wanted to say hi.
So you also started a blog, correct?
Yeah, I don't blog so much anymore. That's probably where I really started, was the blog, and was probably the focus, and then Facebook. I haven't kept the blog.
So now you're
super active.
Video blogging, vlogging.
Yeah, more and more video. Everybody wants more video all the time. But I had some pretty big blog posts back in the day that kind of helped put me on the map.
So you need to try this. I just tested this theory. Have you seen everybody on Facebook is going at everyone or at friends? So when you post a post on Facebook, if you put at everyone that likes your page, right now Facebook algorithm only sends it to like 30% of the people that like your page. Mm-hmm. But if they're following you and you put everyone, boom, they all get tagged in it. I've been tagged in a ton of different social media lately, and I'm like, what is going on? At everyone is what they're putting. I don't know if it's annoying yet or if I
see things like that. I'm like, that'd be great for my page. But then I'm like, on my personal profile, that'd be super annoying.
That'd be super annoying. So you're going to watch that fine line there.
Yep.
So we talked right away in the beginning that you thought a lot of people didn't understand that there was more than one type of corn. Is that the most common misconception, or what do you think ag faces right now is the largest misunderstood fact?
Yeah, now it's changed so much. 'Cause when I started, probably the anti-GMO crowd was the biggest thing, and I think that debate has pretty much shifted and is over. It kind of seems like, or I'm not participating anymore because I feel like I've said everything there is to say about it over the years. One of my biggest posts was way back, it's probably 10 years now. I scanned a PDF of my Monsanto tech agreement and put it on my blog. And then it eventually ended up on a CNN's food website and exploded. So that was a big deal.
Huh.
But yeah, now it's shifted just to like what is hot. Done a lot of unfollowing the last couple of years, so I'm like, people start talking about whatever drama, and I'm like, I apparently unfollowed the right people because I don't know what's going on.
So enough of that.
I'm guessing somebody's insulted you throughout this process. What's your favorite insult that you're proud of?
Well, it goes back to when that blog ended up on CNN.
Yeah.
So the editor I was working with that let me put it up there, she said they'd never got that many hits on the site. I want to say the first day it was like 80,000.
Really?
And it was a funny kind of juxtaposition because I was in D.C. on one of those Dow trips when it got posted. So we were riding around in D.C. on the bus all looking at it. There's 800 comments on this post, and probably 790 of them were negative. But my favorite one ever, because there's a picture of me at the top of the page. It's this guy is so white and so pale. There is no way this guy works outside for a living. He is definitely not a farmer. That's been my favorite comment.
You are too white, you're white.
Yeah. So I think my response was, I've gotten so many sunburns anymore in my life, I don't even try to get tan anymore.
Don't even try.
It's not
That's
worth
funny.
it.
That's fair. I just end up with a Rudolph nose because I can't get it to not get sunburnt.
Yeah.
Jeez. No, that's funny. That's pretty good.
What's your dad think, or what did he think when you got started doing this, carrying camera around, doing all that kind of stuff?
Oh, I try not to get in the way, and he's not on very much, or you've never heard him talk or anything. So I've always wondered if I had, like a sibling or cousin or in-law or something my age that I farmed with. I'm actually kind of silly and goofy, but you probably wouldn't know that from my videos and stuff. I'm kind of tried to do a voiceover for a video the other day before I came here, and I was like reading it off the laptop and thinking I'm really peppy and everything. I'm like, oh my God, that is like the driest thing I've ever heard.
That's what we say about Corey in his intros.
Oh my!
You haven't heard my comments on your intro that's on the show. I was
No,
gone.
we haven't yet. That was you were gone and Tanner filled in. That's right.
I listened to it last night.
Just for inspiration?
No, I just wanted to get it approved. I wanted to get it approved to be shipped out. So it's done. It's approved.
That's funny. No, that's good. Brian, we appreciate you hanging out. Got a couple more questions before we wrap up and let you go have some more fun. It's always kind of fun to imagine and just wonder what life could be like. So what would you do if you were given $10 million this afternoon?
This afternoon.
No strings attached. Thank you for being here. $10 million.
$10 million. I wouldn't have any farmland mortgages.
Okay.
So those would be gone.
Reduction.
Those would be gone. My house would be paid off.
There, very good.
So I was a big-time band geek in high school. At some point when I have the funds, I would like to give a meaningful amount to our high school music program.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What'd you play?
Trumpet, and I played piano, but never played piano at school, really.
Really?
My daughter's just started piano lessons on Monday.
There you go.
Gotta get them in the flow because their dad doesn't read music.
Gabby?
Both of them, Gabby and Cammie.
Do you play an instrument, Corey?
I played saxophone and drums until 8th grade. I had about 6 guitar lessons.
Huh. Yeah. And I met, I always have to tell people this is not a joke, people of the late 90s generation coming of age. I met my wife at band camp.
Oh,
She did not play the flute.
she did not play the flute. Fair enough.
What'd she play?
Clarinet.
Clarinet. There you
Nice.
That's funny. I don't think we could have set you up any better than that.
go. That was perfect.
That was really good. So what? You're farming right now with 3 generations, or at least Grandpa.
Yeah, Grandpa passed. It's been 4 years now.
Okay. So you had a chance where you're farming 3 generations.
Yeah.
As part of your career. What about that made it special?
Yeah, it was kind of unique for sure. It was just been 4 years a few weeks ago. What I've always kind of told people would come by the shop or whatever. And first thing Grandpa would tell them, he was always the first one at the farm. But I would never tell them, well, but you're asleep in the chair when Dad and I get here. But people would always ask Grandpa how he's doing. He'd always say, oh, I'm half good. And I'd be like, if I can still drive semi every day when I'm 89, I'll be doing all right.
Yeah.
He drove semi right up until the end.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
We had, it'd been a year or so after that, one of the corn plants we go to, you go in the probe shack while they probe your truck. And the truck Grandpa always drove, I was driving, and one of the girls in there, she didn't know he'd passed, so she asked something, and she said, so is this you and your brother? And I knew she was referring to my dad. I was like, how old do you think I am?
How old are you?
Not how young.
Or how old do I look?
Is. Right. Right. Wow. Yes. Well, that's good. What do you guys think? Should we wrap this one up?
I think so.
The first one at the beer tent, the Busch Light Beer Tent, John Deere Farm Progress Show 2022.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by, man. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Can't let them leave. Can't let them get off easy.
I'm glad I got a second chance to meet you since I had COVID the first time.
Yeah.
There is one question we ask every guest,
Okay.
and every year it changes. This year, that question is, what is the best advice that you've ever been given?
Oh, man. See, I should have known you were going to ask that.
Well,
And did some research. What best advice?
Take a moment to think about that.
Yeah.
Farm4Profit LLC at gmail.com. You can find us on all social media platforms. At the beginning of every show, we give your review or your text, 515-207-9640. We want to hear from you why you listen to the Farm4Profit podcast. Don't be afraid to share this with your friends and family. If we met you at the Farm Progress Show, thank you for coming over and saying hi. But leave those reviews, share this around. That's how things get done in podcast land. How about that for a little stalling for you?
I thought of something, and it probably fits Farm4Profit. So you guys probably know Brooke, Rural Gone Urban.
Yes.
yes.
When I was trying to figure out how to make some money doing this stuff to keep me motivated to keep doing it, she let me know to don't really do anything for a company as a favor, because they are starving for content.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've kept that in mind the whole time.
It is. Favors are a slippery slope.
So make sure the juice is worth the squeeze.
Know your worth.
Dave's words.
There you go.
Yes. I like that. Brian, we appreciate you stopping by. It was good to run into you this morning when we didn't have to be on the mics. A lot of fun to get you on here, and the atmosphere is second to none.
This is great.
We've never recorded like this before, so I hope you had fun.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, kind of lively atmosphere, and everybody just hanging out.
Well, there you go, listeners. That's an episode of the Farm4Fun podcast. Oh, shoot. Brian, how can people find you?
Look up The Farmer's Life and
The Farmer's Life.
your favorite platform, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
Oh, yeah.
kind of TikTok,
Kind
a little bit of TikTok.
Oh, that's good. There you go, listeners. Go find Brian and come find us as well. But until next time.
Crack a Busch Light, you deserve it.